Hey guys, so today we'll be talking about the lesson through the eyes of traveler, which is an easy one. So basically we'll look into the lesson. First part is covering half of the lesson. So basically this lesson covers 3 travelers at the most. So these 3 travelers are Al-Biruni, Ibn Battuta and Francois Berneir. So these people were from different time period and they were from different places also. So this means that our NCERT book has covered whole thing of what India looked in the eyes of other traveler, the major travelers. So let's get into the lesson. So first, talking about the introduction part. So there were people who traveled for a lot of things, that may be adventure or disaster, or because they have to trade and things like that. Unfortunately, there are a lot of accounts that is good thing, but unfortunately we don't find anything which is left by women. So women has not recorded any of the accounts, whereas men has recorded a lot of accounts. So that centers in 3 things. One is religious issues, next is architectural features, next is the monuments. These 3 is what it revolves around. Then example which you can get is Hampi. So Hampi is the Vijayanagar Empire, which is filled with architecture, religion and all that. So Abu Rasak Samakwandi, he from Herat, he came and he explored it and he gave us a lot of account, which is very much useful even today. The Mughal Empire is the same case as the Vijayanagar Empire, and there is a lot of observations made, and even the Francois Berneir, so he has given us a lot of Mughal accounts. And let's get into the 3 travelers and look about them. So the first one, because why he's the first one, because he's coming in the 11th century, the earliest. Okay, so he is from Uzbekistan from the 11th century. So Khwarizm is in Uzbekistan. So where is Khwarizm? Is the answer would be that is in Uzbekistan. So he is also a 11th century traveler. So let's get into the topic of NCERT. So Al-Biruni and the Kitab-ul-Hind. Who is Al-Biruni? Al-Biruni is a person. He was born in 973 in Khwarizm, which is actually a center place where you learn. There is a learning center and all that. So he was also well versed in a lot of languages, about 5 languages: Syriac, Arabic, Persian, Hebrew and Sanskrit. But he didn't know Greek. So but he was very much interested in the philosophy. So he read the philosophy of Plato in his language, that is in Arabic. So and in 1017, Sultan Muhammad of Ghazni, so he comes to Khwarizm and he invades it. So he takes a lot of scholars, poets to his capital Ghazni. So where is Ghazni? Ghazni is in Afghanistan. So there he is liking the place of Ghazni and the places around it. So he dies in the age of 70 in Ghazni even. So he likes the place that is near Afghanistan. So in Ghazni, what happened? Al-Biruni developed an interest in India. So the interest revolved around astronomy, math and medicine. We saw that Al-Biruni knew Sanskrit. How did he knew Sanskrit, which is not related to any of his surrounding language, because he knew Arabic, Syriac and all that. Al-Biruni's how did he knew Indian language, Sanskrit? So basically how did he knew was he was interacting with the local population around Ghazni and all that. So he came to understand the people. Then he learned Sanskrit by studying the religious and philosophical text, and that was taught by the Brahmana priest to him. So travel literature is something which was accepted in a large part of Arabic literature also. So he wrote in a wide range of travel literature. For example, till to Western Sahara to river Volga, he wrote it. So that dealt with all the land, the information about these land and all that. So and he also traveled widely the northern part of India, that is around Punjab and the part. Okay, let's get into the visual representation. So Uzbekistan is the place. This is Uzbekistan. From Uzbekistan, he's coming to India. So Afghanistan, Muhammad of Ghazni is capturing. So earlier part of India was so much wide. Okay, so that means he's coming to India is what it means. So he's also coming to Punjab. So from Uzbekistan, that is from Afghanistan, he's coming to Punjab also, and he's traveling a wide range of in northern India. So yeah, he was interested in Plato, that is a Greek philosopher, and this this is Mahmud of Ghazni. So he took him from here to here, and he's traveling wide range of northern India is what we saw. Okay, so this talks about his personal things, what he knew, where he was born, his family and all that. Next talks about the Mahmud Ghazni invasion. So remember, in all these three travelers, one ruler will come. Here for him was Ghazni Muhammad. Next one was his interest we saw, and how he was interested in Sanskrit and the literature, text and all that. So next about the book, what is about the book? So that this paragraph deals about the book, that is, it is about 80 chapters, which is far from religion, philosophy, social life, law and metrology. Metrology is the study about measurements. Okay, so next one is about the distinctive structure. How was the structure? So first one is it starts with a question, then comes the description part, then you conclude by comparing it with others. Okay, other things. So they call it as a geometric structure. Even it was so much remarkable for its predictability and the preciseness. Okay, so it was like a mathematical orientation. And the next third paragraph deals with translations. So translation, if you see from he was very much familiar with translation and adaptations of Sanskrit, Pali and Prakrit texts so into Arabic. So he terribly wanted them to improve, so because it was not very great. So the range of work widened from astronomy to medicine. We know that he was interested in math also, so we can remember this as AMM. So he was interested in astronomy, maths and medicine. Okay, next coming to Ibn Battuta. So Ibn Battuta, he was a Morocco traveler. So he is from a place called Tangier, that is in northwestern Africa. He was a 14th century traveler. This very person, he is Ibn Battuta. So now we will be talking about two subtopics. So in the first subtopic, you can see clearly about there is a mention about his place of birth and family and the book he has written. So even Kitab ul Hind, which is the book by the previous traveler, so that was also written in Arabic, and Rihla is a book written in Arabic. So yeah, it's written in Arabic the same way. This is also written in Arabic. So this book has a rich details about social and cultural life in our country, and also the travel experiences speaks more than the bookish experiences, what Ibn Battuta says. About talking about Ibn Battuta's family and his birthplace, he was basically born in Tangier. It was a very much respectable and educated family. So this family, his family, was known very much for the Sharia law or Islamic law, as you know. And yeah, so before coming to India, he has visited Mecca and the part of Syria, Iraq and Persia, Yemen, Oman, and a part of East Africa also, and yeah, so in 133, so when he got to know about Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So Muhammad bin Tughlaq was then the Sultan of Delhi also. So you can know that by his reputation, because this person, the Ibn Battuta, he was very much reputed, and that was very impressing for Tughlaq. So he appointed him as the Qasi or the judge immediately, and then but after some years of not in favor, he was out of favor, he was thrown out and he was put into the prison. And after a misunderstanding between them was cleared, what happened? He was given the role of China's envoy. Okay, so this is how his life revolves around Muhammad bin Tughlaq. The previous persons, that is Al-Biruni's life, revolved around Ghazni Muhammad. So this Tughlaq plays a role in Ibn Battuta's life. So then coming to trip to China, how did he move to China? So first he goes to the Malabar coast. From Malabar he moves to Maldives, and Maldives to Sri Lanka. After that again Malabar, Maldives, and before going and then he is resuming to China. So what happens is along the way he also visited Bengal and Assam also. So he is going from another ship from Sumatra to China. So he has travelled extensively in China, going as far as Beijing. So he has covered till even more than the capital. Okay, so he's written returned home in 1347. He's coming back. So when he came back, his works were compared that of Marco Polo. So Marco Polo is a person who's also visited Asia, China and all that. So he is from Venice, Italy. And yeah, where is Ghazni? That is in Afghanistan. Okay, let's get into the points about the travel duration. So the travel duration, when you see, it takes a lot of days. It's not like today where we take a flight and within hours we can reach another country, and within like hours matters here, but there it was days. So you can see that it took like 40 days to travel from Multan to Delhi, and from Sindh to Delhi it took like 50 days, and from Daulatabad to Delhi he took 40 days, and just Gwalior to Delhi he took only 10 days. Okay, so now about the travel conditions. How was the condition? It was not very great. It was very much of insecure, you can call it. So there were problems of robbers all around, and also attacking the travelers. So these were all the common things. So this happened even for one time when he traveled from Multan to Delhi also. So coming to the enjoyment of the curiosities, so after several years of traveling, so he has recorded a lot of things in his book and all that. He has covered a lot of part. So he can record it, is what a local ruler suggested, and he was instructed to record what was there. Okay, coming to the next traveler is Mr. Francois Berneir. So Francois Berneir is like the last traveler. He was from the 17th century and he was from France. So he was also a doctor. So this starts with a doctor with difference. So you can see a picture here. It's a 17th century painting. He is in the European clothes. That is clearly visible. So the next thing is about Francois Berneir. So the points. Let's look into the points. So the first point here is about other travelers is what we talk about. So the first thing, the Portuguese. So when Portuguese came to India in about 1500, a number of people wrote detailed accounts about our Indian social customs and religious practices. So a few of them were Jesuit, Roberto Nobili, and they were also translated in the European languages. Okay. Then the next travelers was Dauret Barbosa. So Barbosa was also from Portuguese. So he has traveled a lot of southern Indian parts. And next is Jean Baptiste Trevinier. So he was a French person. So he traveled at least for 6 times. He was also a French jeweler. So he came to India and he was very much fascinated with the trading conditions. He compared them with Iran and Ottoman Empire. And next is, the last one is Dr. Munich. He came from Europe and he settled down in India. So because he liked the country so much. So coming to Berneir is our center of focus. So he was basically a doctor. He was also a political philosopher and historian. So like many others, he also came to the Mughal Empire. Why did he came? Because for an opportunity. That was he was a physician to Prince Dara Shikoh. So he was the eldest son of the Emperor Shah Jahan. So he was intellectual and he became a scientist with Danishmend Khan. So Danishmend Khan was an Armenian noble at the Mughal court. After his doctor position, he was becoming an intellectual and scientist also. So he was a very big comparator. So when you talk about Berneir, the first thing which you get in your mind is he compares a lot with East and West. So he has dedicated a lot of his writing to Louis the 14. So yeah, so it is in the form of letter or official letters to the officials or the minister in whatever region. So yeah, so he saw the situation in India as a bleak situation. He compared them with the development in Europe and he says it's not so great. So it is also not accurate, the accounts you see. Okay, so next is about the books which he had written and it has become the bestsellers, you call it. So the Berneir's works were published in France and that was translated into English, Dutch and German and Italian, these 4 languages, and also it was reprinted for 8 times. It was reprinted and that was circulated as manuscript and it was generally not published before 1800. So these are the things. So next we have covered about a lot of things. So you can see we have covered about the publications till this one we have covered, and in the next part we will be seeing other 4 topics. Thank you.